Okay. Nobody's suing you. You're not suing anybody. You don't want to sue anybody.
I'd like to sue a lot of people if we could if we could be successful, but it's very difficult to sue organizations that are extremely powerful and have in place connections and clauses that make legal remedy difficult.
Okay, counselor. Do you have a will?
But I think I think about how the Beatles, who hasn't heard of them, right? Had hundreds of songs before they really got publishing. And then, you listen to like George Harrison before he was dead, and they're asking him about, hey, have you ever thought about re-recording something or something like that? He says, no, it's easier to write a new song than to re-record an old song. Creative mind. And then you got Taylor Swift, who it's like, oh, I'm just going to release Midnight 3 times and add 1 track, and I'm going to re-record everything because the publishing contract that I had took everything. And then you got the Red Hot Chili Peppers, who are like, yeah, I'm just going to sell my entire catalog and walk away rich. I don't, some things are so. I mean, how do you put a price on your life's work, or something that you can or I can explain honestly how I conceived the BCI and how do you put a price on that? I'm told you can get a keynote speaking job for maybe, if you're like famous and really smart, maybe $7,500 a day, a keynote speaker. I mean, scale for actors, what, $800 a day, $600 a day. I just want to work. I want to pay my bills. I want to be recognized. And being rich is, a byproduct of what I've done and what I'll do. I'm not hungry in a long time since I've been hungry.
Well, I've been involved in, what they do now is if you sold your copyright after 35 years, you can terminate it and get it back. And then when I try to sell it, they're almost like bankers, and what they do is they say, okay, well, how much money did it generate in the last 3 to 7 years? And then they look at that and they offer you a multiple of that, a percentage. So, things have changed a lot since, what you referred to, the Beatles time.
Yeah. What about, you look at work like the series Robot, what was that? Made Rami Malek a star. Mr. Robot. You got Mr. Robot and a writer, Mail. Yes, Mail. And production company, Anonymous Productions. And you look at something like that and you go, that happened. And that's, they have all these storylines. And where is the vagueness, and how can you make a connection between Aru Alien, Israel, and Bradley Tolpin and Mr. Robot and the news company and targeting and recording and taps. And then it sounds like so convoluted, and then it goes back to, that son of a bitch is crazy, and he's a lunatic. Why should we listen to him? Because I'm telling the truth. That's all I got. Because I'm telling the truth. So how do we sell those copyrights? How do we go back and say, uh, you and Bernie used to, Bernie Adler, we talk about questions. I asked Bernie one day, who owns the Hollywood Best Western, lived there for a while. Yeah, and I spent I lived in hotels, ran up a huge debt, and but he's connected, and he's connected, but yet he's smooth. I don't even know if he's still alive, but I asked him straight out. I said, "Is your daughter, who I think she is she the producer of these shows?" And he's like, "Well, I'm like, "I don't know. I don't know if the producer of My Name Is Earl is actually Bernie's daughter, Barbara. I don't know. I want to know."
That show, My Name Is Earl.
Yeah, I made a star out of a lot of people too. And I asked Bernie. I said, "Bernie, is this your daughter?" He wouldn't give me a straight answer. I asked him lots of questions. He I used to send him a Hanukkah card. I asked CBS Mornings to go to Steve Koonin, attorney, and inquire about the letter I sent him and the architectural drawing. Didn't get a response. I asked my friends at the TV station to tell me more about what they were doing with the recordings at the TV station during the investigation. I got little to no information. I got a little bit of information. I'm not completely in the dark. Yeah, they wanted to know something about marijuana usage, and they were, recording all sorts of things. There were two people who spilled a little bit, and then they all got bought out after I got fired. Um, and I think they had to sign agreements. I don't know. How do you get answers to that stuff and sell copyrights? I don't know. I asked the questions. I asked go, but I it's like I just said to my friend Kip, who honestly, we go back so far and been through so much, and yet haven't had a conversation like you and I are having. I said, I can't tell somebody what I don't know. I can't tell you I know this for a fact, because nobody will tell me that I'm right or wrong. Nobody will say to me, "Yeah, Bradley, yeah, we got the letter. We've seen the drawing." Nobody will say the Army has it, or the Army doesn't have it, or the Army saw it. Nobody can say that directly, and if they could say it directly, they'd probably be in violation of a defense contract agreement that swore them to secrecy when they were serving for as a cybersecurity officer for the Department of Defense as an independent contractor. I can't tell you what I don't know. I can tell you I've gotten hints. I've gotten hints, and I'm not hungry for food, but I'm hungry. I'm making I'm making peanuts, man. I'm making scratch for the last 10 years. Just
And
you know,
figure out, help you get past that, and it's a lot easier said than done.
Okay.
Because you gotta have something good to sell.
Well, a few hours in a music studio with talented musicians and an extraordinary vocalist, and suddenly we'd have something good to sell.
Who's the extraordinary vocalist?
I don't know. Who do you know?
I know plenty of people, but
who wants to record an unknown writer's stuff?
Nobody that's not going to get paid for it.
Yeah. So how do we get them paid for it and get my copyrights and get it out there with something good to sell? That's the question. How do we do that when I can't mortgage my house for enough to live another 10 years? It's not like I'm M. Night Shyamalan. Huh?
You own a house?
I do.
Hire me. Bradley.tolpin@gmail.com. Send a message right here on Facebook via Messenger. Million-Bach. It's my nom de plume. See you soon.